going on, kitchenettes? Holy cow, this is gonna be one hell of a task. I think I'm up to it though. I think I've got it. So, it's my $25 breakdown. So I am using the stuff that's in my cupboard, which meant I actually had to change some stuff. And I had already purchased some stuff and was not very good at planning. Big surprise. And so I had to kind of change stuff up at the end, or like I had to change stuff up today because I wasn't going back to the store. I'm just not going to do that. It's not worth it, because some people just can't go back to the store and you just got to use what you have. So we're going to do a little twist on some stuff here, but it will work out beautifully. I'm sure of it. Mostly because I have confidence in myself. And I think that's kind of the key to it, right? Just got to have confidence in yourself. So, my $25 breakdown, 3 meals, $25. I think, if this is me being fair, I had a container of chicken that I purchased that had 6 chicken breasts in it. That cost me a little over $9. So if I round that up to $10, $10, right? Then let me look at my list here. I purchased mushrooms that cost me, I think, $2 or $3. And then I purchased just a bag of spinach. I think that cost me a couple bucks. And then I purchased out of and don't be afraid of it, guys, the clearance rack at Fred Meyer in their produce department. I bought just like 6 potatoes. Because again, I'm only feeding 2 people. And 9 times out of 10, Zena's not going to eat mashed potatoes anyways, unless I make them garlic mashed potatoes. That's the only way that boy will eat mashed potatoes. So don't be afraid of it. It's literally like, it's not, you can tell if it's bad. And they weren't bad, but they were way cheaper than buying a whole 5-pound, 10-pound bag of potatoes and then watching them grow into new potatoes on my table. So it works for me. If it doesn't work for you, a bag of potatoes is still only like $2 or $3. So yeah, that's how I'm rolling. So I think in total, I may have spent $15, $20, and that's not including the stuff I already had in my kitchen, obviously. So 3 meals, $25, and we're going to do this. So I'm just going to kind of go through the process. I did prep a lot of stuff because I don't want to take up a bunch of your guys' time. Hey, Frank. Hey, Nikki. And so I did prep stuff. I prepped some pasta, and I prepped some mashed potatoes, and I did some of my chicken. So with the chicken breasts, I took 4 of them out, and I put them in my little crock pot. And then with the other 2, I chunked them up. Just bite-sized pieces. You can go smaller. If you need to stretch it more, go even smaller, because sometimes you've got to stretch things to make it work. I like to do a lot of shredded chicken because it's easy to please. Like, my boy doesn't like anything on anything, and it makes it very easy for me to make him happy because he will just have some chicken, some shredded chicken. I, on the other hand, like to mix mine with barbecue sauce. And so that's actually going to be our first meal, and we're going to do this easy peasy. If I was actually making a meal, I may throw my chicken in the crock pot, wait till it's cooked, shred it all up. I just used 2 forks. My friend Jennifer Camp actually had a brilliant idea that I should have tried today, but I didn't. She actually takes her hand mixer and, like she's making a cake, sticks it in there, turns it on, and it just friggin' shreds it all to pieces, which is super awesome. Time saver if you need it. Yeah. So we're going to just start with, and I didn't have any buns and did not realize that until later. So I have pita. Go figure. So all I'm going to do is grab up some of this chicken that is not, I don't know if you can even see that. Let's see if I can put this down a little bit so you can see it. All right. Just small crock pot full of shredded chicken. And when I shred it, I usually just kind of grab it and just do one of these things so you can like break it apart. And again, you might have to shred a little bit more. If you're trying to make things stretch, you know, maybe don't give such large portions, but we all know I don't know anything about portion control. So I'm just going to take a little chunk of it throw it in my pita. If you're a cheese person, you could totally throw some cheese on there. Move this out of your way so you can see what I got going on here. Hopefully. I can't see because there's stuff going on down there. I'm just going to throw some barbecue on there. If your family is a barbecue fan, throw the barbecue sauce in the crock pot. Like, that makes it so much better. But again, my son is really picky, so he's like not about the barbecue sauce life. One of these days I'm going to turn him no. And then you could throw a salad next to that. You could do some French fries, some chips, some baked beans, whatever you got, right? So there's meal number 1. And that was a super cheap meal. Okay, super, super, super cheap. So meal number 2, let's see. We're going to go with, I know what we're going with. We're going with Harmony's Crazy tonight. Because sometimes I feel like I bite off more than I can chew. I bet some of you are laughing at me because you know that shit's true. So I just am going to warm up my pan really quick. And I'm going to do it at a medium-high heat. Mine are numbered low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 9, and then high. I usually cook it about an 8 because it's, I don't know, it's what works for me. So whatever works for you. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I'm so excited to see so many people on tonight. I'm just going to move my mess here. So I won't be gone for long. I mean, I'm still here. Just trying to move stuff closer so I don't have to get out of your guys' way so much. Because I know you came here to see me. Why wouldn't you? Anybody try Chia Jam yet? Stacy, did you try Chia Jam? I bet you have. Oh, there we go. We're getting warm now. I'm going to throw a little bit of butter in my pan, mostly because I just want to have that little bit of extra in my gravy. Because that's what I'm making next, is some chicken gravy. So I'm taking a good chunk of this. I don't know. Yeah, you guys can see that. It should be far enough away. Oh, that might not be the best of ideas that I've had today. How about we'll do this one? And I just want to make the gravy or the chicken a little bit moist with the butter. I know some of you are like, that's disgusting. And then I'm going to sprinkle some flour. Not all of this flour, but I just did over because sometimes you need more. Just going to sprinkle it over my shredded chicken. And see, I think I get all prepared, and inevitably I forget freaking something. It's all right. I got this handled. So I'm just kind of making it a little thick because we're going to want it to be a little bit thick for your gravy. And I'm going to probably stick my boob in the camera here real quick. Sorry about that. I'm just draining a little tiny can of corn because my sister had this cute little can of corn and I didn't think I had any corn. And she's like, here, you can take this. I'm like, well, that's good because I'm literally the only one that's going to eat it anyways. So, little can of corn just for me. But obviously, if you have more people, you're going to want a bigger can of corn. All right, that looks good. And then I poured some milk. I actually used some of the milk I used for my mashed potatoes over here and then added some to it. You always want to be careful when you're adding like cold to hot because it's going to bring the temperature of your pan down. So you just want to kind of be aware of that. I always warm up my milk for my mashed potatoes because it's just not good. Your mashed potatoes are going to get all funky. And I did season the chicken. I seasoned it with some salt and pepper and, you know, my trifecta, my favorite Weber spice, and my salt and my pepper. And then I also threw in a little bit of cumin and chili powder, which was my own demise because that's where I screwed up and didn't check to see if I had everything for the dish I was going to make. But it's good. We're working it out. That's why I shouldn't try to do 3 meals. And we just want it to kind of simmer up until it's getting thick. Do you guys remember when you were in elementary school? Maybe I'm dating myself, I don't know, but they had like the turkey gravy and the mashed potatoes. Man, that shit was the best. That was like my favorite. I would see that on the lunch meeting and be like, yes, turkey gravy. It was so good. It's kind of the riff here, except it's going to be a little less rich because, well, it's chicken gravy and I'm using it with milk, so it's going to be a little bit less. I could have done this with chicken stock as well, or chicken broth, which would have been absolutely delicious. But we're doing it with milk, so deal with it. And I just want to make sure it tastes all right. Could use a little salt, but not too bad. I'm going to move this one over here. I'm going to grab this one. Wait for that one to get hot. I should have put that over there while we were waiting. But it's okay. We're going to crank this bitch up to high. Cranking that bitch up to high. Thanks for joining again, guys. I appreciate it. Hey, V! So we're down 1 meal. Got 2 more to go. I'm working on it. We're working on it. So meal number 1, in case you missed it, we did a shredded chicken, barbecue chicken on a pita bread because this girl didn't have no hamburger buns, all right? So that's how we're rolling today. And we're just dealing with it because sometimes a person don't want to go back to the store. I want this pan nice and hot because we're just going to toast this corn. Which my plan was completely different, but I'm just going to stop obsessing over what I was going to do and just do what I am doing. Guess I might not have gotten all of it out of there, but it's all right. It'll toast out in a minute here. And I'm keeping my potatoes warm with a little hot water in my pan here. All right. We're going to rock it and roll it right here, just like this. So we're going to glob some potatoes in here. Potatoes are such comfort food, right? Anybody else think that? And then I personally cannot have mashed potatoes and gravy without having corn because I just love it. So I'm going to do a heaping spoon of corn because, again, I'm probably going to end up eating this later tonight too. I really need a bigger kitchen, y'all. I'm just switching everything. Switching it all. And I'm going to be disgusting and use the same spoon too. Because you know why? I'm eating it. You're not. But you could be disgusting in your own house. This is like rainy weather deliciousness right here. Thank goodness for a toaster. If you want, you could put some cheese on it. You can roll it with green beans if that's how you roll. That's on you. I ain't got nothing for that. All right. Meal number 3. Moving right along. Now I feel really, really blessed here. All right, still got that hot. I'm just gonna do a little bit of oil that's already open because apparently I did that earlier. Move that out of the way real quick. See, I need like a stovetop with like 8 gas bitches. That's what I need. My 2 chicken breasts that I chunked up. If I can find another spoon here. Hopefully I'm not taking up too much time. I feel like we're moving quickly. I got some mushrooms. I'm probably not going to use them all, and some of you are going to really hate me for this, but you don't have to use them. Don't feel like you have to use them. I also like pineapple on my pizza, so fight me. Just kidding. Don't fight me. Please don't fight me. And I have some spinach. The chicken doesn't really take all that long to cook. And again, I use a lot of chicken in my house. Mostly because I can't eat red meat. Because damn, I miss having a steak. Got questions? No questions? You like that, V? 8 gas bitches? I don't think that would be enough for me, honestly. This is a little bit of a fancier meal, I suppose. But you know, in my house, when you live with somebody who cooks, and your smallest child says, risotto again? I'm like, oops, my bad. Some people don't even know what the fuck risotto is. That's okay too. Maybe we'll do one on it, but that's gonna take some time. Because that's like, that's a process. But it really is easy. It's just a lot of stirring and a lot of adding liquid. And I don't know if I could entertain you guys for like 40 minutes for adding liquid to a pan. But yeah, maybe we'll do that someday. I'm gonna have so much leftover food. Jeez. Good thing, too. I'm gonna need lunch. This is something that I had already purchased. Heavy whipping cream is expensive, you guys, and I'm not even kidding you. This bitch cost me like $8. But you know, it's worth it because I use it for a lot of stuff. I put it in a lot of cream soups. I use it for sauces. It does not go bad in my house. So for me, it's worth that money. And I like the Dairy Gold brand the best because the like Safeway or off-brand, Fred Meyer brand, like those ones don't seem to thicken up as well. So it totally bums me out when I forget that, especially at like Christmas or Thanksgiving. And I buy the cheaper stuff, and I immediately am like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? As soon as I go to use it, I'm like, damn it, I should have just spent the extra money and bought the good stuff. But it happens. And sometimes you just gotta save a buck, right? But then it takes like 15 hours to get the damn whipped cream to come to peak so you could use it for pie or whatever. Because I don't recommend putting that in salad. It breaks down. So I don't recommend using that for fruit salad or anything. We're almost there. Chicken's almost cooked. So we got stretching it. Our little pita barbecue sandwich. Maybe some fries or some chips and baked beans. Our hell yeah comfort food. Mashed potatoes, corn, gravy on top. And then we got like, ooh, that looks fancy. But it's really not that fancy. I promise you. It's just going to look it. And that's the best food ever, is when it looks fancy. This chicken's almost done, so I'm going to throw some of these mushrooms in there while it's still got a little bit of time to cook. And I made them big because Zane will eat this, but he will not eat the mushrooms. So he can pick them out. And I would love to get him in here, but every time he knows I'm doing a live or trying to take a picture, he like bails. He's, almost 14. So, gosh, Mom. Gosh, Mom. And I like that ratio. I mean, I would actually throw all of them in there, but it would just be mushrooms and chicken then. But this is a good ratio I got going on here. I'm all about that ratio life. Get my chickens done. I probably could have cut these a little bit smaller, but it's okay. Nothing wrong with big chunks of chicken. All right. Now we're going to rock it out with some of this. Let me turn it down. Just going to kind of coat the pan, okay? And sometimes we may need to thin it out a little bit, and I still have some milk left, so we'll do that if we need to. Oh, look at that, it just went shh, all quiet. It's like it snowed in my pan. Just went all quiet. Hopefully the chaos doesn't ensue next. I move it around because that cream that I put in there, I don't want it to like burn or you can't tell that it's getting thick. So I like to move it around just to make sure that it's not like getting super crazy. I'm dying. All right. Turn this back up a little bit. Because I put cold in the hot pan, so it brought the temperature all the way down and had to start over. So you got to be aware of that. Well, Vanessa, you like this one? Better tell Will get his ass in that kitchen. All right, it's coming down. It's coming down. It's coming down. Hopefully my pasta wasn't sticking too bad. I want it to be a big old gloopy mess when I dump it in there. I'm a firm believer in using the same spoon for all the shit you're putting together anyways, so sorry guys. I wouldn't do that in like a real restaurant, but it's my restaurant, so I can do what I want. Alright, we are there. So I'm going to add a handful of this spinach. Because we all know that you could add the whole bag and it's going to come out like 5 little pieces. Just wilt it down a little bit. And that's going to give it that pretty color. And if you wanted to throw some tomatoes in here, like when you're done, or if you don't mind warm tomatoes, my daughter hates warm tomatoes, so I would never put warm tomatoes in here. My middle child does not like tomatoes really at all, so I just omit stuff mostly because, I already told you guys it's Burger King, you can have it your way mostly. But sometimes it's just like, this is how we're doing it, because this is what we got. Just gonna do a little sprinkle of this Parmesan that I used for my chicken Parmesan week before last week, because I didn't use it all. So, gonna add that, and basically we're just making like a fettuccine sauce. And yes, it is that easy to make a fettuccine sauce. And now we're going to want to turn that completely off, because you don't want, after you've added the cheese in there, you don't want it getting too crazy, because it will make it all nasty. And then I'm just going to add my pasta that I already cooked. I'm going to stir that all around. Boy, I hope my son is hungry when he gets home from work. Because Zane already ate shredded chicken. Because, you know, he couldn't wait. And I had a cup of watermelon. And I had some asparagus that I needed to cook up. So I knew he was going to at least eat something good. And bam. Meal number 3. I hope that wasn't too long. I didn't feel like it was too long. My sloppy little plate here. And I'm out of paper towels. Guess I better find another roll. There you go. Meal number 3. So we got some kind of fancy. You could even add a little bit of your Parmesan to the top if that's what you want to do. So that was our number 3 meal. Got that comfort food. Got the mashed potatoes, the corn, and the chicken gravy on top. And then we got that easy peasy meal because I didn't have any bones. So we went with the pita bread with the barbecue sauce and the chicken. Maybe a little fries, maybe some chips and some baked beans or some coleslaw or something. It's your kitchen. You can do what you want to do. I appreciate you guys joining me again, Kitchenettes. I'll see you next week. I'm not really sure what we're going to do next week, so if you have ideas, shoot me a message. Let me know what's up. All right, guys. See you next week.